You see this man right here? This man built a time machine. Everybody must have seen time machine in movies, in Marvel movies. You know, people will travel to the future, they will travel to the past. So this man actually built a time machine, and that was in the year 1800, you know, the 1800s in the US. So the man's name is Kirk Lazarus. So this man studied physics in the university, and he was like, okay, I can build a machine where people will be able to travel to the, you know, future, or, you know, travel to the past. So after having that idea, the man started building the machine inside his house, you understand, you know, secretly. And it was like, you know, he was just building it, and, you know, he finished, you know, like building the machine. So when he wanted to like try out the machine, so he had a friend. So the friend was like, he wants to be the first person to, you know, to actually use the machine, you know, trying to, you know, as a friend now you have to help your friend, you know, blah blah like that. So the friend sat on the machine and disappeared, you know, he disappeared on the machine. So the man was like, what happened? Like, he was very amazed, maybe the machine actually worked or not. So after some years, because they didn't see that friend again, so after some years, I think in 1885 or 1870 something, they discovered a body, a frozen body in Antarctica. That was like almost 50 years later, you understand. They discovered a body in Antarctica. Everybody should know Antarctica now. Antarctica is a freezing, you know, continent, and the body of that very person looks like this man, this Kirk Lazarus friend. So the man was like, you know, Kirk Lazarus was still alive, so he was like, this machine actually worked, you know, by taking his friend from 1800, from the early 1800s to 50 years later. So the man, you know, started publishing it that okay, he built a machine and the machine actually worked. This body that he saw in Antarctica, the person is his friend, you know, something like that. So the government was like, who is this person that built this machine? So this man was scared that okay, the government can come and, you know, raid the house and, you know, take the machine. So this man was scared. So, and he still have the machine in his house. So the man sat on the machine, and him also, he disappeared. You understand? So everybody was, nobody saw the man. They actually, you know, saw the machine, but nobody saw the man that built the machine, if not because of what he published. You get? So after a few years, they started seeing photographs of, you know, all these hieroglyph, I mean, what did they call it? You know, all these pictures of the olden days Egyptians, you understand? And they saw that the photos that they were seeing then looks like this Kirk Lazarus. So I think the man traveled about 5,000 years to the past, you understand? You know, during the pyramid times, you get. So this story is actually crazy. But me as a scientist, I believe the story a little bit because there was a recorded stuff on it, you get. So do you believe this story I just told you now or not? Just drop it in the comment section.